Hello dear friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. Today's location is just forest. I mean, my whole town is pretty much a forest. So that's my mom's work, where she worked when I was a kid. What I wanted to talk about was actually related to that work, because it's a place for children to rehabilitate, and I wanted to talk about a place where I went before I started doing these videos. Went to a psych ward, I guess the translation would be in English, but it's like, yeah, it's a psychiatric hospital. And I went there because I was talking to my therapist, and he suggested that I go here because I started to tell him that the way I was living, I didn't want to live. You know, I was smoking weed at that time, and it wasn't doing a good job on my brain. So I just couldn't quit anymore by myself. So when I went to the hospital, I started to get better, but it had to get worse before it got better. I met a lot of people there, and yeah, we had a lot of activities, you know, like art therapy, dance therapy, music therapy. We had group meetings, we had meetings with the doctor, meetings with the psychologist, with the psychiatrist, and they were all evaluating whether I had risks of suicide. And eventually, after 3 weeks, they let me go. But I wanted to talk about the first day. When I got there, they put me in a closed room, but I wasn't on my own. I was closed. I mean, they didn't let you out. They didn't let you to go outside. So the first night I spent there, and yeah, there wasn't much that I could do. But the first morning that I woke up, I had this person come up to me, and he like offered me a coffee. He offered me a cigarette. He just didn't even offer, he just like gave it to me. And that's the person that I'm gonna start working with next week. Because yesterday, as I was drawing at home, I decided I just want to lay down. As I lay down, I got a text message, and I was like, I'm wondering if that's from him. I didn't want to put expectations, so I just check it, and it's him saying, yeah, I sent your documents to the accountant, and we're planning to start next week. So good news, really happy. That's probably my record, you know, signing the documents that I quit, and literally getting the text message the same day saying that I got a new job. So that person that was in the hospital with me actually offered me a job. Well, I asked him for a job, and he said we're looking for somebody now specifically. So those trees look beautiful behind me, and the branch just fell off one of those trees. I don't know if you saw it, but it was quite magical. And everything seems to be going quite magically recently. I don't know if you feel it, but I feel it. Since yesterday, I just started to feel this euphoric feeling, and it's not too high, it's not too much, it's just the right amount, you know. And if you're not feeling it, then maybe something is off with your, you know, balance, in terms of your soul's balance. Your soul might want to be developing in a different direction and you're not allowing it to. Maybe I'm just making this up, but I don't know. I had to allow myself to break some rules, I guess, break some unwritten rules, and those unwritten rules were all in my head. That's the weirdest thing. That's what I realize now, saying this to you guys, that it was me that set up certain rules in my own head, you know. I couldn't quit. Maybe it was something there. Maybe it was some morals that were broken, but, you know, you have 3 months of this trial period, you know, and during those 3 months you can quit in like a couple days. So that's what I did, and because it wasn't suitable for me, so I found another job pretty much instantly, or the job found me. But I felt like something was off for a while, but once I started meditating, once I started to introduce space into my psyche, once I started to develop spiritually more in a calm way, you know, I started to get these insights. I started to meet people. I started to have conversations, and those conversations were like quite spiritual, and I had like spiritual experiences having those conversations. So you know, I'm wishing that you can find that peace, find that inner peace, find that inner voice that tells you what to do, that knows what to do, and is not making you stressed more, it's making you calmer. And maybe the whole reality will start shifting and rearranging itself around you. You know, maybe you will be the main character of that game that you're playing that's called life, you know, because I think sometimes we just don't feel like we're the main characters, but we are in control of our lives, and we are in control of our emotions and feelings, and sometimes we aren't, and those moments are the most difficult, because sometimes it feels like the circumstances make you react, the circumstances make you, I don't know, a certain type of way. They make you feel like you're not in control. And that's the hardest part, you know, to realize back again, come back to that feeling that, no, actually it's me that is holding the wheel. It's me that's holding the steering wheel. It's me that's, you know, doing the work. It's me that's waking up. It's me that's going to school, to work, to whatever, and I can decide how I'm going to react. I can decide how I'm going to feel here, you know, whether I'm gonna shift my perspective or I'm gonna stay in the same way that I was before. So, and a lot of these things happen naturally once you relax, you know. So once you relax and you allow some new thoughts to come in, things might shift, things might change, and you will see the new light that will come into your life. So I'm wishing you that. Just know that I'm proud of you, what you're doing. I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, but today the sun is shining, tomorrow we don't know. Right now is all we have. So enjoy the now and be peaceful. I hope that you will find peace today, at least for 5 or 10 minutes today. Just sit somewhere in silence and introduce some new things, because you know what you need to do, but you don't hear the voice sometimes because of all the noise around. So quiet the noise, hear the voice. Love you guys and take care. Peace.